Happy Monday, everyone. This is your host, Crystal Jordan with Reality Check right here on rollingout.com. And happy King Day to all of you out there. I hope that you've enjoyed today. And I hope that you've had a chance to reflect on everything that we've gone through and how important the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King is. We are here, of course, with another reality check. And we've been talking about relationships and all that type of stuff that we enjoy getting into. But I thought today we would do something a little different. We have a very special actor. If you're a football fan or if you enjoy watching football on TV, this guy will be no stranger to you. I first got to see him on All American, which airs on the CW and also Netflix. He's a co-star on that series, and he's also the star of Disney Plus's new film, Safety, which debuted right before Christmas. Please help me welcome Jay Reeves.
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
How are you?
I'm well. I'm so grateful to be here.
Well, good. Well, happy King Day to you.
Oh, same to you. Happy King Day. It is.
Absolutely. It feels like, I feel like we are, about, a couple of weeks in 2021, and yet it feels like we've been here for a while. It feels like this month has been really long.
It still feels like we in 2020. It just feels like we rolled over,
I know.
But I think it's going to be better, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so. Well, what did you do today did you spend time reflecting? How did you celebrate King Day this year?
Well, it's actually funny. I tend to take these days slow every King Day because about 3 years ago, I was shooting. It's probably actually longer. I was shooting at this film school, and I actually got arrested on King Day because the cops at Santa Barbara University thought I didn't belong at the school, and we were actually shooting a movie that was about this brother who was they just saw him and discriminated against him. And that was the whole movie. And I went to go do a wardrobe change. And during the wardrobe change, I got arrested. Wow. And it was this huge thing because the whole cast came out, the whole crew came out, and they were like, hey, he's with us. He's working with us. And they didn't want to hear that. So they did the background search and everything. And once they didn't find anything, I was able to go and continue the movie. So I like to stay aside on King Day. And right now it helps me with quarantine happening to do so. So, I just take it easy and observe from here and do my thing and support everyone else who's doing their thing,
Yeah, well, that is, that's so sad to hear. That's something like, that's exactly what this holiday is about. Why we have to keep, we cannot be silent. Oh my God. I'm speechless right now hearing that because, I said I wanted to have a conversation with a young Black man today because I feel like we really need to hear from you all's voices, especially at a time right now. And what you just shared is just, it's mad, but it's beautiful to see that you've gone through that and you're speaking out. You're obviously very talented, but it's still just so disheartening to hear that someone like yourself would have that type of story 3 or 4 years ago. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, of course, the university reached out, the president of the university, but just to be, while filming, I forgot that it was it was King Day, we were just doing our thing. And then I was surely reminded, surely reminded because just how they, that whole situation, you wouldn't expect that, especially being on set and playing someone in a position where he's trying to overcome over the same exact thing, but just being placed there, reminded me that we have a long fight. We have a strong, long, hard fight to go, to do and deal with. And I'm just happy to be a part of it, and be doing my thing every day.
Right. Well, on another note, I want to congratulate you. Like I said, I'm a big fan of All American. That's where I first saw you. And it's a big football show, but it's got a great storyline. I think it touches people across the board, whether you're into sports or whatever you're into. It's a great family, just inspirational story. And then So you were co-starring that, and now you are the star of Disney's new Safety, which, like I said, debuted right before Christmas. I want to play the trailer, and then let's talk about how you got this role and what this experience was like playing a real life story of Ray that was a phenomenal hero, but football player for Clemson. So let me run this clip, and then we'll let you explain what we're seeing.
Now, Ray, these scholarships are yearly. You perform on the field, you perform in the classroom, and if you don't, they take that all away.
Yes, Coach.
This is my brother, again. Baymar.
Earlier this morning, I got her into a 30-day inpatient program.
We'll be placing Famar in foster care.
Something in me's awakened.
Wait, I'll take him.
I had to bring my little brother to live with me on campus.
You don't have to do this on your own.
Clemson has given me the opportunity to change my life. My coaches, my teammates, these men are my brothers too. History in the making. You've been waiting for this.
Thank you. All right. Congrats to everyone on that project.
Oh, congrats to you. So first of all, what did it feel like having your first starring role like that on such a big film?
Oh man, it's speechless. I'm at a loss for words. Especially coming off of All-American, I didn't see that coming from anywhere, but to be put in that position was definitely otherworldly. We can only dream as brothers in this industry to grasp something like that. So just to be put there so early in my career was life-changing for real. To see myself on billboards and stuff like that. I just got shot off a TV show. So to see that flip was definitely big and it's inspiring to me, just on my hustle, what I do to keep going. So it was otherworldly.
Yeah. Well, tell us about the story, because I didn't realize, doing research, I realized that the actual movie is based on a true story. And I think that's always when we get it's great to have a great storyline, but when the storyline is rooted in truth, it's always so much to take from that. So what did you think when you read this story, or were you familiar with it before the film?
No, I actually wasn't familiar with Ray's story before the film, but diving into it, I had a lot of fun. I got to really figure out what was going on, what the atmosphere was like. I was around back then, but I had no idea that this was happening. So to dive into the story and then meet Ray, I actually reached out to Ray, a month before going out to film on IG. And I was like, hey, I'm trying to play you, and then the brother was so nice to take me in, and not only take me in, but start training me prior to even, going out there and getting involved in the physical aspect. So it was a lot for sure, a lot of hard work, but it was a lot of fun at the same time, and usually you don't get to play someone who's right next to you, or you could look at as a bigger brother, so I learned a lot from Ray. I learned a lot from Reggie Hudlin, Disney, everyone. It was just amazing experience.
Well, you actually played football. So do you think you had a little bit of an edge with when you went to the audition, knowing that you had that football background? Because I understand not only did you play, but you also won a championship. So you actually were pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely helped, because it helps your confidence while playing the role. When I got there, I remember seeing all these football players that had around us who just got off the NFL or just got out of college.
Yeah.
But for me to hold my own weight out there was a lot of fun. They didn't know I had that knowledge of the game, or that I could actually play. That doesn't come often with actors, that they could do things. So just having a life before this one was definitely beneficial, and I used every part of it, to make that look as cool as it did.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about the story, because like I said, there's football and it's fun, but it actually is a really heart-wrenching story of Ray's determination to be successful, and Clemson creating a space for him in the midst of some very challenging times. Can you tell us a little bit about the story?
Yes. So Safety follows 18-year-old Ray Ray, who puts everything on the line when he's forced to take care of his little brother while, defending and finishing out his scholarship. Shortly after trying to do that, a lot of other obstacles come to play, and he has to balance them all and figure out what's most important to him. Is it the family, or is it, his scholarship and his future? The movie just dives into that, and there's influence from other players and coaches, and he just brings it all in. And of course, his little brother, influence from him, and he uses it to overcome. The movie for me was deep. I was so deep into it while filming that I couldn't even think about it. What was going on? I couldn't think about the story. I was just so deep into living that reality. So, and then I had a great co-star, Thaddeus J. Mixon. He was just dope. So children are so innocent when they act. So just realizing how he would feel in that position just helped me get into that, and dive into that. And of course, Reggie too. It was awesome.
How was it having Ray watch you play him? Did you feel like you wanted to make sure that he was pleased with your performance every day, or did you kind of have to just let that go and do you?
You have to let it go and do you. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you don't, you'll catch yourself imitating someone or trying to be someone. And I can never be him. But what I can do is I can honor him. So that was more so my ideology going into it, is like, yo, I just want to honor this dude. I just want to give him respect. And of course he's going to be here. Of course he's going to be over my shoulder, but they hired me. And, and just trusting the people that hired you and put you in that position.
Yeah.
I'm the actor that I shoot the take and I don't go look at it. And it's not because I feel like I did a great job. It's just that I'm trusting the people I'm working with, So, Ray being there, he gave me a lot of trust, and I'm glad that he did, because I was able to do my thing.
Yeah. Well, did it turn you into a Clemson fan?
I have to be, that is for sure my team. I have no reason not to follow them or like them or be a fan. Clemson is great in sports. They're doing a thing. Got snubbed for the Heisman. We should have got that, but it's all good. I'm a big fan of them for sure.
That's good. That's good. Well, you mentioned playing football and actually winning a championship, and we know that you're still very, very young. How did you start? How did this acting career start? Because you had a pretty big, you mentioned you got killed off of All-American, but you had a pretty significant role, on that series as the best friend of the main character there. How did this whole acting thing start from being a football player and winning a championship to actually playing one on television?
What's funny? My dad made me actually get into acting, because he was like, hey, you got to make some money while you in high school. Why are you doing this thing? You got to make some money. You can't just be going to practice and coming home and sleeping like you getting paid. So my dad actually made me get into background acting. And that's how I started. I got in the background. I worked on shows like iCarly. What was the other show? iCarly and Victorious on Nickelodeon.
Okay.
From there, I started taking baby steps. One of my teachers on set was like, hey, you should try acting, because I was like pop locking in the back of Victorious in a party scene. So I was like, all right, well, cool, I'll give it a try. Next thing you know, a few years later, I had like one line with Zendaya. Then a few years later, I got on this movie, and then so on and so on. So it just kind of found me, I put football to the side, and I was doing pretty well in ball, but I put that to the side and I focused on something that I could see as tangible. And I'm glad I did,
Well, it looks like it's planning out well for you.
Yeah, I can't complain. I'm grateful.
Are there people that you, I had a chance to see Nate Parker's American Skin, and it is a great film. If anyone is watching and has not seen that, it's on Amazon Prime, and you should definitely see it. But I mentioned him because he mentioned seeing Spike Lee and having the chance to work with him, years later, watching him early on. Are there mentors in your head for acting that you look up to and that you would like to kind of pattern your career after, or take things from their career for your own?
Yes. You know what's funny? Nate actually trained me for my first movie.
Wow.
And Nate Parker, I did this first. My first movie was I played the autistic wrestler with Tourette's,
Wow.
and Nate trained me in the wrestling. He's actually a profound wrestler, so he trained me to do that. And from there, of course, he was an idol of mine. Then I went on. I tested for movies like Fences, so I
Mm,
was able to read opposite Mr. Washington, and that changed my life. You know, Denzel's probably the best actor. You know, without a doubt, the
yeah.
best actor I've ever been across
Hey,
from.
yeah, that's
You
the
know,
goal.
yeah, that's the go. So just to be able to be in that atmosphere, let me know that hey, you might not have hit anything right now, but you're on the way. You know,
Yeah.
and I used to tell my friends like, "Yo, I'm dropping mixtapes in the acting game because nothing was ever big, you know. But the people who needed to know knew me, you
Mhm.
know, and that's
That
usually
sounds
how
like
that."
that sounds like a really challenging role, a wrestler with Tourette's. How did he coach you to play that? I don't want me to cut you off, but that just sounds extremely challenging. Like, how in the world did you prepare for that? And what was that like taking on something so challenging as such a young actor?
um, it was definitely hard. It was the hardest thing I had done at the time, but then also I was young. Um, I was working with kids at the time, mentoring kids, and
Mhm.
two of the kids I was working with had autism.
Okay.
So I was there. This is prior to the role even coming on my desk, and I truly believe in just getting life experience, you know, as an actor, because you never know what might come on your desk that might relate. You know, art imitates life.
Hmm.
So me just being close to that, I got to study the kids indirectly. You know, I wasn't in their face, like you know, but just you know, just stepping back, you know, looking at the material, doing research. I'm a really like I really believe in just doing the work, you know,
Right.
putting in the hours. I put in a lot of hours, and back then I didn't have the tools that I have now. So
Hmm.
back then it was twice as much work, but to play that it was a lot of fun. I had to humble myself, and you have to. What's funny is when you work with an impediment, you learn a lot. You learn a lot of things that you didn't even see. You know, someone with an impediment may not be able to open the door, or may not be able to whatever. You know, host a meeting like this, how we're doing. So it was definitely a learning experience, and it humbles you. You know,
Yeah.
when you deal with that. So it was great. It's called Listen to Movie. If anybody want to watch it, is
Yeah.
probably free now. Yeah.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And it seems like you're in good company with those mentors. Now you mentioned a reference to mixtapes in acting, but I read that you also do a little. You're in music as well. So you actually dropped a song this past year, correct?
Yes, yes. Music has been super fun for me. Ever since I was 16, my boys have been in it. I've always been like, yo, I'm trying to act. They've been like, yo, we making beats. So
Hmm.
as we both got older, as we all got older, it just kind of intertwined, and we just got to you know work with each other. And luckily, my friends are very talented. I work with this producer named Ashton McCray, who's all over the place. He's doing his thing, and then we just started making music together. At first, nobody wanted to hear me because they're like, "Yo, you just acted. You just acted. We don't want to hear that." You know, and I agree. You know, you never really believe in that. But then, as I got more confident with more time and just putting in the hours, you know, every day, you just got to. Me and my friends believe in this thing where we just touch whatever we were trying to do daily,
Yeah.
even if it's for 10 minutes. Just touch it for 10 minutes. You know, go read a newspaper out loud. Just touch it daily, and that's what I was doing. And now we're at a great place where we feel confident in everything we put out,
Mhm.
and it's fun. And we're gonna, you know, license some movies with our music, and
There you go.
we'll see what happens.
There you go. Well, I like that. If you guys are just tuning in, I am talking with Jay Reeves. He is a star of the Disney Plus film Safety. He's also co-starred in All American and a few other projects. Now, a few people are asking us to say the name. What is the name of that movie again that you just
Oh,
mentioned you were in?
yes, the movie's titled Listen, but you could probably find it by searching up Listen the movie, just because Listen is such a title.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's found at pretty much everywhere. It was my first film, and that thing really, really held weight in terms of footage because I had played such an off role, you know, and it helped me, you know, drop these mixtapes to these cast directors like, yo, check this out, you know. This is what
I got
I'm
a little
doing.
substance right here for you to check
Yeah,
out.
I got a little substance. And that's all it's about for me is maintaining and obtaining substance, you know. That's my bread and butter, and that's
Yeah.
what I want to do in this industry. So yeah.
Well, last question. Has it been difficult adjusting for you? Well, not last question. I got one more to ask you before we wrap, but has it been difficult adjusting as a young man going from being, I'm sure, pretty, you know, well known at school to now walking around and people recognize you? People are watching this saying, oh my God, Sean is alive from All American. So I know people recognize you from that series. Has that been strange adjusting to that?
It was the first year for sure. You know, the first year I was like, yo, this is kind of nuts. But you know, as things went on, you get adjusted to it. You know, you know how you are as someone who has to deal with that. And people react differently to that. Some people love the limelight. Some people love that. I myself, I don't know. You know, I'm gonna say what's up every time. I'm gonna give you a hug, dap, whatever.
Right.
But I like to keep my stuff private. You know. And with the mask, I can go anywhere now. So the mask kind of works to my advantage. I love it. I put
You
it
can
on.
get incognito with the mask on.
Yeah, the mask and the hat. That's my
You can't see anybody with a mask and a hat. You have no idea who it is.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I want to ask you, my last question for you before we let you go is if you would have any words of inspiration for other young people that are watching this and want to follow in your footsteps and maybe looking for that virtual mentorship from you. But I have to mention, as a mom, I saw that on your Instagram page you mentioned you love mom is in your bio. Are you a mama's boy, and has she been inspirational in your career?
You know, I'm actually not a mama's boy, but my mom is heavily all over my career.
Yeah.
The reason
That's
I
the
put
right
that
answer.
is because
That's a good answer.
yeah. You know, when you do a movie like Safety and they put you on billboards, your mom like, you better shout me out. So I was like, you know, I always got to shout out my mom. So I'm gonna just put this in my bio. That way it's done every day. And every time you know, they get that part of me. So that was just a way for me to honor her, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, do you have any words of advice for young people watching you?
Yes. Like I said before, make sure you do it every day. Whatever you want to do, just make sure you do it. Even if it's for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, that really helps. I do Muay Thai, I kickbox.
Okay.
And one of the things we say there is 1% better every day. You know, 1% better for 365 days is 365% better. You know, so that's how we try to be, you know, every day. After this, I'm going to work, you know, at my house, not doing nothing. I don't have nothing to do, but I'm gonna find something, you know.
Right.
So just stay hungry, stay positive, and keep your faith.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. And that's a great reality check for today. We do a reality check every episode. And today's reality check is definitely, if you love something, touch it every day. I love that idea of becoming 1% better, because like you said, that will add up. Very 1% adds up after 365 days.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jay Reeves. We wish you all the best. Please come back when you have another project or you have some music to drop so we can share and celebrate with you.
Oh, most def. And thank you so much for having me. Everybody check out Safety if you haven't already. And it's been a blessing.
Thank you. Happy King Day, young king.
Yeah, it is. All right. Happy King Day, y'all. Be safe. Peace.
All right. Thanks, Jay. All right. And thank you guys for tuning in. That was just a pleasure to talk to. As I said, the reality check for today is if you love something and you're passionate about it, try to touch it every day. I'm going to take that nugget for myself. 1% better every day means you are 365% better at the end of the year. This has been your girl, Crystal Jordan, with Reality Check. Again, happy King Day to everybody out there. I will see you guys. Actually, I'll be back on Wednesday with a very, very special exclusive reality check. I'll see you guys then.